The human mind is amazing. It is so amazing that we don't even understand how much amazing it can be. But because of this amazingness, it can serve as a two edged sword, and its potential power has the capability to ruin our life just like it is capable of building our current civilization. So, it is important to understand the ways in which our brain works so that it becomes a tool for growth instead of becoming a tool for our own destruction. The first thing that we must understand is that we are not our mind. Or, in other words, we should consider our mind as a tool instead of identifying our being with it. You see, when we identify ourselves with our mind, we give away all of our power to it. It therefore controls us and our life, and we are unable to stop it. Such a situation is terrible, and our ego identified being greatly suffers. We develop a disease called overthinking. Let me explain the different aspects of overthinking and how to work your way out of it. By the way, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing for more interesting videos like this. Overthinking is a disease of the mind. In the ego identified state, you identify your sense of self with your mind. You are always looking for complete control over yourself and your environment. This is the opposite of what we can call amor fati, or the acceptance of fate. You see, from a spiritual perspective, the sense of self is not from the mind, but from the being. The being is a term used by spiritual teachers to explain human consciousness. And this sense of being is very different from the ego identified mind. In what I like to call a normal state, the sense of self is derived from being, whereas the mind is just a tool. And so the person has the control or capability to use the mind when it is needed, and to turn it off, or in other words, being in the present moment when it is not needed. But what happens when the person identifies himself with the mind? The mind, which is a tool, starts to malfunction, and this leads to what I call the diseased state of mind, and overthinking is the consequence. Overthinking is both the cause and the effect of pain. The origin of all forms of pain is the mind, and this is because it is the mind's job to identify all the threats and harmful things that can damage or destroy us. The mind does its job by compelling us to pay attention to perceived threats, even if the threats are not real. It compels us to pay attention using different forms of pain, such as psychological and physical pain. You see, pain is the most important part of the equation, because without pain, the mind cannot think. The more pain you're in, the more your mind will think, and the less pain you're in, the lesser you will think. That's how the human mind works. Now, in the ego identified state, which is the state of identification with the mind, we're always being compelled by our king, the mind, to pay attention to every little perceived threat. This means that we're always in a state of minor pain because we are always listening to the mind. Now, here's the problem: that very state of minor pain is also being perceived as a threat by the mind. And so happens the deadly chain reaction of thoughts. The thoughts feed the pain, and the pain feed further thoughts into our mind. When you overthink, you basically run this chain reaction into your head. You're in a state of minor pain which perpetuates thoughts. Those thoughts perpetuate further pain, and the cycle continues. Overthinking makes things complicated. Another job of our mind is to solve problems and create solutions. But overthinking rarely creates any effective solutions. This is because an overthinking mind easily loses perspective. It fails to properly identify all the elements of a problem. It takes things far beyond the task at hand, and it takes them deep into the least likely but scariest outcomes. This is because, as I said before, overthinking operates under a state of fear and pain. It is a result of an emotional frenzy, which means it is chaotic, draining, and worthless in the end. Conversely, a solution oriented mind does not operate from an ego identified state of being. Its sole purpose is to solve the problem at hand without any unnecessary emotional attachment to the problem. The thoughts originate from a very different motivation. The objective is clear, and there are no ridiculous biases. Most importantly, there is no burden of past failures or embarrassment, which is a very limiting aspect of the mind identified state of self. It is a wastage of limited energy. Not to mention that our energy is limited, and overthinking is the last thing you'd want to waste your energy on. There is loss of energy coupled with loss of happiness and well being, and for no good reason. Now, some people might be tempted to think that overthinking will open your mind to more and different perspectives or make them a smart thinker. But this is a dangerous notion. A smart thinker is not someone who overthinks, but it is someone who has mastered the art of hitting only when the iron is hot, or in simple words, thinking with intense focus and emotional investment for a while only. Overthinking can cause depression and mental health problems. The reason why depression is so common in this era is not suffering or hostile environments. We're living in the best of times after all. It is overthinking and self-created pain that damages the mind. All kind of mental health and emotional problems arise from such misuse of the mind. How to stop overthinking? The only effective way to stop overthinking is to learn how to be in the present moment. Use the following steps to stop overthinking. Cease to identify with the egoic mind. Your ego is your greatest enemy. There is nothing to be gained by giving yourself up to it. You may completely miss out on the joyous life that truly is. Withdraw yourself from the power games of life, at least temporarily, and enjoy the miracle of being. By losing your ego, you find out that there is much more to life than power games. In fact, the egoic wins are nothing compared to the joy and blessings of the present moment. Acknowledge the mind as a tool and not as your being. Do not let your mind control you. Consider it nothing more than a tool to navigate through life and achieve goals. Live in the moment and make it yours. Honor the being and it will honor you in the present. Your mind is your sword, but it is not yourself. You use the sword, but you don't fight all the time. Life is both about love and war. None can exist without the other. Use your mind to win your battles against your struggles, but never forget that love and the present moment comes first.